All right, guys, what's going on? Back at you with another episode of Quarantine Football. Like always, I'm your co-host Ryan with you guys today on this not as hot New Jersey afternoon. Actually, yesterday it was about like in the high 90s, like 99 at one point. Now it's like 91, 90ish. So not too bad. Hopefully later tonight, Nate and I we're gonna go hit up some Dairy Queen and get some good ice cream. But speaking of Nate, like always, got Nate with us today. What's going on, man? How you been today?
Yeah, I've been doing well. Another late start like usual. Ryan giving you the weather report, so I don't need to add anything to that. But yeah, I'm just excited to
Is,
go
is
on
that
with our
like is
interview
that
today.
is the weather report now? Are we just gonna make it like a usual like thing? Like I just give a
Yeah,
weather report like at the start of
that's
every
fair.
episode. I mean,
That's
like
fair.
it seemed like recently that's really been quite a trend. I mean, I've been given the daily weather report, so I think we'll start to make that a little thing. See what goes on with that. But Nate, before we get on with today's episode, you know what I'm about to ask you. I need to see him make an appearance on screen. We got
Yep.
Carlos the Owl playing. I'm sure he's loving this sunny weather. The last couple of days. But moving on away from the weather and plants, the reason why we're here today is because we are here to talk football with my man Joey Blount, UVA free safety. What's going on, Joey? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are y'all? Appreciate y'all letting me be on the show today.
Hey, thank you for hopping on today, man. I'm doing pretty well today. I know Nate doing the same. I mean, what's the weather like where you're at right now?
Yeah, Charlottesville, Virginia, it is, I think that it was like 93, and the heat index makes it feel like 109 outside.
Oh, jeez.
So I think
Oof, that's rough.
I
Yeah.
think we're riding, we're similar in both areas.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds very, very hot. Actually, you were talking about Virginia. I wanted to bring this up. I'm actually going to JMU for the next 4 years, going to be getting there in the fall. And obviously, JMU and UVA, we don't have the best relationship. I know we're playing you guys this year in basketball. I'm going to consider it lucky if we only lose by 30 points because our basketball team is not the best. But, do you think JMU and UVA would actually end up like playing each other in the near future? I know we got some big games coming up in the next 3 or 4 years. Really hoping that we start to play some bigger schools. But what do you think a game would look like between us and UVA?
I would not sleep on the Dukes, man. I think I like their program.
I like
They
that.
usually contending for national championships, but at the same
Yeah.
time, with that respect I have to give them, cannot give the respect to the UVA Who's, man. I think it'd be a good game, insane rivalry. You know, trying to see who can represent Virginia the best, but I just have to go with the Who's all day.
Hey, I mean, that's perfectly fair. I mean, you do play for them, so, can't really expect anything less than that. And I know, as much as UVA and JMU don't like each other, we both can agree on one thing. And I can't say the full phrase on the show because of the word, but F tech. We all agree on that. None of us like tech. But moving on to some more questions pertaining more towards you and your football experience. This is one that we like to ask everyone right off the bat on the show is why'd you start to play football and more specifically, why free safety?
Yeah, so started playing football, earlier in my life. It was, I guess, growing up, your parents kind of put you in a different sport to try out different things. So I was a big soccer kid, big basketball, big football. I guess football just stuck, It kind of just came natural to me. Um, kind of grew up with this pretty good hand-eye coordination. So that takes you a long way when you're younger versus some other younger kids who really can't catch the ball or run with the ball. So if you can do that at a young age, kids, you are on to some greatness. um, but besides that, I really started playing football because I just fell in love with the game. Honestly, I feel like the game just was calling to me off the field, and when I was on the field, I felt so at home, so at peace. Uh, just some things that I feel you get put on earth for. That is just a gift that you cannot say no to. I just feel like playing ball is a gift that I have that I feel like I would not be doing myself justice if I wasn't playing ball. Damn, what was the second question? I forgot. I'm sorry.
Why did you start playing specifically free safety? And I know that
Oh
for
yeah,
a lot of like safeties, you probably have experience just at defensive back in general, right?
yeah. So I guess free safety. Well, I was always kind of too small to
Hmm.
play defensive line and not big enough to really play linebacker. And free safety when you're younger is you go get the ball. You just stand there in the middle, and you just go find the ball. And I was just really good at that. And then especially, my dad played defensive back, so that I kind of, was getting a lot of one-on-one with him, and I was seeing a lot of things before it happened. Just kind of like the bird's eye view of the offense and defense at once, man.
Yeah, you were talking about just like a lot of defensive positions, like talking about how you were too small for defensive line, but that's kind of where your like family came from. But did you ever consider playing offense? Like, what kind of brought you specifically in your mindset to the defensive side? Is there anything specific in that regard?
Hell yeah. So when I was growing up, originally, believe me or not, I was a quarterback. I loved quarterback. So like in little league and like travel ball, depending on the team I was on, like I was playing quarterback and safety at once. Like offensively playing quarterback, and then on defense I go play safety. So when I kept growing up, obviously I got to high school and there was like kids who were predominantly just playing quarterback and who could do that really well compared to, I'm doing pretty good at both. So I thought it was the best thing for me to, focus on defensive back and safety. But even in high school, man, honestly, like freshman, sophomore year, and junior year, really, I played cornerback, I played receiver, played some running back. Then my senior year of high school, I actually started at quarterback all over again. And I did quarterback and free safety. So honestly, it was a hard one to distinguish because I love quarterback. Those two positions similarly. I maybe throw in there like with middle linebacker that you kind of you're controlling that part of the ball. You're making the calls, you're seeing it. Like at some point the ball is in your hands, or at some point you're around the ball on defense. So that's something that really just came out to me. I want to be in the game all I could, but I think just defensive back for me overall was the best choice because I'd rather tackle someone than be tackled all the time. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you mentioned quarterback, you mentioned wide receiver. Something that really sticks out to me in my head here is like you're playing free safety, right? And you're reading the quarterback's eyes and you're trying to see where the wide receivers are going. Do you think that previous experience of those positions, particularly quarterback, where you obviously had a lot of experience in high school, do you think that experience has helped you a lot as a free safety to kind of like get into the mind of the quarterback, see what they're seeing, and then like jump the routes, stuff like that?
Yeah, so we call it route recognition and route concepts. The best receivers make the easiest routes look hard, and that's their job, to make every route look like it's something that's just made up. But honestly, every route goes off another route. There's concepts of high, low, crossing routes, deep post curls, comebacks with seams. It's just a lot of, flood routes, things we can even pick up while playing Madden, NCAA. Those route concepts that we all know, but receivers will make them look way more difficult or way more, what are they running? Like combine two routes in one, which separates like the good from the greatest. And it definitely at free safety, I can really recognize, even with the steps of a quarterback, the drop of how far his drop is can, tell you, is it a quick route? Is he playing quick game? Is this a route that's going to develop? If I'm playing middle third, I'm going to read my verticals. If I got a vertical, one going under, the drag route, most of the time, I'm a high percentage. If you have an under, there's definitely going to be a dig behind it. Because, like I said, it's concepts. You're trying to put the middle linebacker in the bind. You have to choose one or the other. So yeah, that helped me a lot, really recognizing what's going to happen. I'll tell you a little story about that. But my freshman year, or we like to say UVA first year, I was in practice, playing middle, no post. We're in just white. We're just in like literally our man. We play man free. And I literally am in the middle. I'm reading the quarterback's eyes. I see him look to the slot, and I glance to the slot, and I could just see the route before he ran it. He ran the route for him, intercepted it, and that was that. And that's just one example of that a lot of good safeties can really do.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think, route or being able to read the routes is a must for all defensive backs, safeties, cornerbacks, like everyone on the field except for like the D linemen. They're not going to be covering guys. But I mean, talking about reading routes, I mean, we see, us average fans when we watch defense, we think that, defensive backs, they always just like assume what's going to happen, all of that, and we always get mad whenever like guys get burned or something like that. And obviously there's a lot that like goes into, the game of a defensive back and of a safety. I mean, what would you think is like the hardest part about playing your position that like us as average fans wouldn't really like expect? Because there's a lot in like the aspect of your game that like we just don't know about,
Yeah, I would definitely say your keys, man. Within like the first, I literally like half to 2 seconds of a play, like I could either be doing this or that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm doing the right thing and then say like a defensive lineman is doing the wrong thing, since I'm the last person you see, it's gonna make me look like I did it wrong when I did everything right.
Mm-hmm.
Or, say they're running a pitch to the outside and I'm supposed to be, out there forcing the edge,
Mm-hmm.
and someone is in their gap and they jump out and then jump back in, the running back's gonna, see that me and this other guy are in the same gap and just crease us. Joey, where are you? Like, why aren't you there? I mean, I was there, coach. I don't know what to say. So things like that, and obviously, sometimes coverages and coverage-wise, it's hard. DB is not an easy position. You take the highs with the lows, and sometimes you do get burned, like you're talking about. But sometimes you're supposed to have that help whenever it's needed. You're supposed to have help on some coverages, and you're playing a certain technique, like outside leverage, or you're playing inside leverage, and he runs away from you because you think you have someone there. But just, sometimes it doesn't work out how it is, but you got to take the good with the bad. But I would definitely say your run pass keys, which mean a lot for a DB.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 100% agree with you right there. And I mean, you mentioned, being able to do the right thing on the field. And, something that sticks out to me of you getting the job done on the field is bringing it back to last season, the opening game against Pitt. You had 7 tackles, your first 2 career sacks, and you intercepted a pass to solidify the win. What was the emotions, going through yourself when getting that interception to pretty much solidify the opening win for the season, man?
Yeah, Pitt was just such an emotional game for me. First off, the year before, I was having a similar type game. We were playing them at home. It's our first time being ranked, top 25,
Mm-hmm.
however long. It was really rainy. It was a nasty game. It was a, run the ball, tackle. And I was having a great game. I had like 11, 12 tackles solo too. And I remember I had messed up my ankle, like on one tackle, felt a couple pops to my ankle. Figured out, went through the season with an injury. That off season, I had an ankle reconstruction surgery because of that game. So I was very emotional with Pitt, just saying the memory of me hurting myself. I want to be better. I want to showcase my abilities. I kind of want to pay back in a sense. If any guy will tell you when they're in their game, when they're playing their game, doing like sequentially, like playing very well, it's almost like flow.
Mm-hmm.
Like the term of you're just in flow. Like you're not doing too much, you're not doing too less. You're just doing what is enough, but at the greatest amount possible. And I feel like those back-to-back plays I was just having I was just doing the right things and everything was just falling into my hands. It was something that was just meant to be, and that I was just happy. Like we hadn't had beat them in 3 years. Win for our ACC journey as well, and it meant a lot to me, just not for the win, but also just emotional. And like a kind of a mindset, like to conquer my own mind about them.
Yeah, definitely. You talked a little bit about flow in that and how like once you get into it, once you're making the right plays, it kind of like everything kind of falls into your hands. It makes things a lot easier when you get into that flow. I was just wondering, when you're playing safety, like you said, you're kind of like the last person that you see. You're kind of the last safety blanket back in the field on deep routes, stuff like that. And there is a chance that you get burnt. Like, how do you deal with that kind of pressure on yourself? Like when you're even when you're in the flow, there's got to be a lot of pressure, knowing that if the quarterback wins deep, that's on you, or it could potentially be on you. So, how do you really deal with that pressure, and how do you think that pressure has defined you as a player to this point?
My dad always told me, you can't make diamonds without pressure, and pressure makes diamonds. Um, but yeah, that's just like the beauty of the game. That there's just something about like you being the person to make a play, or you having control of the how something's gonna go left or right. Like, and yeah, it's nerve wracking with the deep balls. If you're there, that's one thing, but you have to play the ball in the air. Like you have to not pass interfere. So, there's a lot to it, but I would just say that how I play with it is just confidence over time. Like I'll tell you, when I was a first year, I wasn't as confident as myself playing on the field. I was more confident in my special teams ability and like how I can contribute there. But now we're going my fourth year. I'm very confident in my defensive play, my special teams play, just any type of play I need to contribute to. Because I've just been playing. I had constant work at it. Um, it's more like being battle tested. Yeah, it's kind of being seasoned versus very fresh. You kind of see the speed of it slow down a lot as well. It's not as like you're not as jittery. You walk on the field and you just calm. It's like it's going to be fast, but for you it's slow. Um, but yeah, the safety blanket. That's just the beauty of the position. Honestly, like when everyone else fails, why would you not want to be the one that saves it all? It's kind of like a little mindset I have. But I guess that's like the best answer I could give you without rambling too much.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about like confidence that you've developed throughout your years in college, even like from your first year to now. Uh, I was really wondering, you talked about some skills on the football field that are obviously really important to your game, like confidence, like getting into the flow, stuff like that you've actually developed over time. How do you think that that's actually affected your life and your personal improvement off the field? Like, do you think that being on a football team, and like having this sport be such a major part of your life has helped you in other aspects of your life besides just football?
Yeah, off the field, I'm a very fun guy, extroverted type of character. I'm always the one. I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. But awkwardness in the room, I will kick that out the door real quick. So, um, I guess it's kind of helped me. I've seen it all almost. So I'm not really taken back by a lot of new things. I meet new people. I love hearing new stories and be able to connect. Um, so yeah, it's football on and off the field, especially this UVA program that Coach Mendenhall has put. It's supposed to make it hard right now. So after in real life, that's going to be easy. I definitely see that in a lot of things right now that, little things that are building up to be bigger down the road. Um, yeah, I just say outside of life, just very, very outgoing person, the confidence is definitely there. With confidence, you can always have more. And you have to work to keep your confidence up. Confidence can be lost with anything. But I think football has definitely made me more confident, not only in my athletic abilities, but in my social and like my interpersonal reflectiveness, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, and kind of talking more about off the field stuff. Obviously, UVA, very, very, very big basketball school, former national champions, technically still the reigning national champions, no tournament this past year. But, at UVA, would you say that, obviously the basketball game, I assume, great, stuff to do, on campus. What would you say is your favorite memory so far on campus outside of football at UVA?
So yeah, definitely when we won the national championship, that was an incredible experience. The streets were flooded with fans, and I think I'm pretty sure it was a Sunday night too. So
Yeah.
most classes got canceled Monday,
Hey,
um,
that's a win-win right there.
except for practice. Practice was not,
Oh,
but I will say that was one of the most memorable experiences, and as well, the lacrosse team winning national championships. Even though it was more so in the summer-ish, in the spring,
hmm
some of my closest and dearest friends are on the lacrosse team, And I was super happy for them, just seeing, coming in together, kind of finding ourselves, finding our identities and helping one another. I'm super proud of them. And then also outside of football, I'm going to have to say, I guess graduating early. I'm graduating 3 years, and this summer I'm going to grad school for the fall. It's a big accomplishment for me and my family that I worked for. So I guess I'll have to throw that in there, throw it in the mix, a little academic success.
Hey, I mean, that's the stuff, congratulations to you, getting graduated in 3 years. I mean, that's a huge, huge accomplishment. So great stuff there. And I mean, you talked about, winning the national championships. I can't even imagine, that emotion going through the entire campus must be incredible. For me, my personal sports team, we haven't had much success the last couple of years. My Giants kind of been a laughing stock, but, hopefully, everything going to go up from here. But, kind of going towards more of the football aspect of your career at UVA so far, what would you say is, the number one craziest atmosphere that you've played in so far throughout your 3 years so far at UVA?
Craziest atmosphere, probably what is it called? Miami Stadium.
I don't know. Personally, me, I don't know the stadiums off the
Isn't it
top of my
hard?
head.
Isn't it hard? Isn't it Hard Rock?
Yeah, Hard
Yeah,
Rock.
it's Hard
Hard
Rock.
Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hard Rock. Surprisingly, actually, NC State was a pretty good one as well.
Really?
My second year. Yeah, it was the shape of the stadium is it was dome-like, so
Mm-hmm.
the sound was right there, and the sideline the stands is not far away, so
mm-hmm.
you can hear it clear as day. I'm trying to name other besides our stadium. Not like besides some games. I like UNC was Virginia Tech, crazy. Enter Sandman, unreal.
Mm-hmm.
North UNC was good. I haven't gone to Georgia Tech. Yeah, Louisville was there. Yeah, UNC and VT Miami. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, those are definitely some crazy atmospheres to play in. And I hate to be a downer at this point in the interview because I feel like we were kind of going up. We were talking about all the good experiences at VA, stuff like that. But at some points I do have to be a little bit of a downer, and unfortunately, we're living in a really tough time right now in a lot of different ways. And the NCAA season might actually be in jeopardy. We're not really sure yet. It's still all up in the air. With the NCAA season, with the NFL season, all these sports. I was just wondering, like, what have you personally been doing, like, to prepare for whatever is going to happen in this coming season, and just outside of football, also just during quarantine, what have you been up to?
Yeah, it's been a really rough road, I guess. Not like for me personally, but just NCAA, the season, like being a senior, you kind of dream of the senior season once your first year. How is it going to be? With your best friends you came here with, you kind of grown with. You've seen the culture change. So I know as this journey becomes more as a career path, not just opportunity, but more like a career-based path now, that you could see yourself going into like the NFL or other types of ways of life. It kind of, like you said, it jeopardizes a lot of things. Makes me nervous. I'm not gonna lie, but season or no season, right now, I tell myself I'm gonna prepare like there is one, because you can never be too ready. And if there's not a season, that's a decision I guess I'm gonna have to make with my family, my coaches, my loved ones who really care about me and like what's next for me. But this quarantine actually like was really a silver lining in my life for the sake of being a football player. You really don't have a lot of time at home, especially for me. I'm out of state. I don't live in Virginia. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm south of Atlanta, so I don't really make it back home often, even though my parents come to all my games, home or away. it's just there's a feeling about being home, being in your own bed, being with your family, having a home cooked meal, waking up and seeing your mom and dad, that sort of thing. But so being able to do that for, almost like 5 months, 4 months, like was just made some of the most memorable memories with my parents I've ever made with saying just, making dinner with my mom, or, building a show with my dad, or just hanging by the pool, or playing dominoes at night, or just watching some Netflix together. There's a little things like that are some of the most valuable memories that, us as football players don't really get to make versus some other sports or even just regular students as well. But, it was this off season, I really wanted to, more towards football sake, that I wanted to, gain more weight. I wanted to be a bigger person. I wanted to get stronger. So I think I ended last season at like 192, 193. I was injured, so I was just trying to hold my weight on as much as I possibly could, but came back weighing at 210, feeling great, growing like almost 20 pounds. Just really I got stronger. I felt that like I used my time wisely. I did things I wanted to do. I wanted to get faster. I wanted to get stronger. I wanted to be with my family, and I was safe about it. Negative with all my testing with COVID. And with that being said, that like I was super thankful, but also I was eager to get back. So like I said before, it was a silver lining in this whole thing, that even though it's super sad right now, like everyone's kind of like looking what's going to happen. At the end of the day, like we're all going to be okay. It's going to figure itself out at some point. But we got to prepare like we're going to play a season, even if the season's 4 or 5 games, 2 games, 3 games, we don't know, but we got to prepare as if we are.
Yeah, I can't actually express like how refreshing it is to hear all this. I take it back actually about being a downer in the situation of the show. Because I feel like me and Ryan, our situations have actually almost exactly mirrored what you're going through. Even though obviously we're coming from different walks of life, and we're trying to start up this podcast. You're trying to continue with your football career. I've been talking with Ryan a lot, and we've mentioned that a few years down the line, I think that a lot of people are going to really miss this time they're having with their family. We've been able to, experience this time where we could just, like you said, wake up, see our parents, and we could, interact with our family. So it's a really nice thing to do at home. And also in our personal life, like you said, that you've been kind of like on the grind for football, stuff like that, and improving yourself, being productive with your time. Me and Ryan have really made strides with that too. We started up this podcast, we're really enjoying it. We're really making strides with it, and it's kind of like focusing our life a little more. So it's definitely good to hear the silver lining, to hear the positive parts of this. And what you said about your preparation, I think that's absolutely key. Preparing as if there's going to be a season, whether or not there is going to be, because at the end of the day, whatever your decision is about continuing your football career, um, the preparedness is going to help even if there's not a season. So definitely good stuff to hear, Joey. And then I wanted to just close this out with one question. It's kind of a unique one, kind of a personal one that we like to ask kind of towards the end of these interviews. And it's about kind of significance, and that significance is actually about your jersey number. Can you just go into a little bit about how you chose your jersey number? Like, is there any kind of personal significance? Is there something that kind of forced you into that number? Just like, what's the story?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you are familiar with how we choose it at UVA, but I'll just do a brief synopsis for those listening. At UVA, our culture is earned not given. So every year, it doesn't matter what number you had previous season, the slate is wiped clean, and it's effort based, and the sequence of picking the number is decided by the leaders of the team. So it's just all team based. There's no coach's bias. This is what you show during off season, winter workouts, spring ball, summer, and fall camp. So you really got 4 big times to really, showcase your abilities, your strides, you made the effort, and to see within the first 3 rounds of numbers being picked if you decide to get picked. So for my journey with number 29, I was the first year. So obviously, no matter how good we were going to do, I was at a deficit because all I had under my belt was a summer and half a summer, first of all, and then a fall camp. But it got to a point where the last the last day of picking numbers was it was the third day, and they were picking freshmen. And we first realized it was like first years because in our class we had at the time being we had 4 mid-year enrollees, and all 4 of them, or no, 2 of them went first. They're both running backs, and then my buddy PK went and got his number, and I was the first offensive player to get mine. So like, I'm like, damn, like I don't know what I want. Obviously, like I played with 5, 8, 16. Those are my 3 numbers I've kind of worn all throughout. High school was 8 was my number, but I was like playing DB. Like I gotta, kind of get a DB number. And I always like my dad asked me, well, my dad's my biggest hero, my role model, and he was number 31 at UVA. And right before, like it's crazy how this thing works. Right before the 3rd round started, like the end of the 2nd round, this 3rd year, 4th year, Chris Sharp, he picked 31. So I was like, damn, there goes that. Oh well, like hopefully he wears it well. So I have a chance to get picked, and the closest numbers that were left was like 29, 30, or I want to say, no, 29, 33, 38, some like numbers like of that sort. I was like, I like 20, 29 looks cool. Like I was thinking like Earl Thomas, like okay, Eric Berry. Like,
True.
I know it. You know what I'm saying? I got some quick
Yeah.
off the head that I can play with, and I was like, okay, I can make that number work, and it's close enough to my dad. It's 1 odd number away, but I'll send my respects to that, but also make my own legacy throughout that. And you can ask anyone, when you earn your number, there's something about like the work you put in. So you do not want to give that number up unless you're trying to like, you significantly like, you put more work in to get a better number. Like if you're happy with your number, you keep putting the same work in and work in. So 29 has just been like my reminder of like, gotta keep working, gotta keep going better, gotta get better. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's the unique story right there. I mean, definitely, personally for me, not what I was expecting to hear. That's the really, really awesome thing that you just have to work for your number. I think that definitely, shows that work ethic is key for a football team, and definitely just some awesome stuff right there. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's show. Joey, I want to thank you so much for being able to come on and talk with us today, man. It was a pleasure having you on the show. You got anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
I just want to say thank you guys for having me. It was a pleasure. You are easy to talk to. And go listen to this podcast. It's upcoming. And I'm very excited for the future for y'all.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that a ton right there. I mean, we're excited for the future as well. And like Nate said, if coronavirus never happened, this show would never have happened. I really think about that lately and, think about the blessings we've had with this show so far. I mean, it's just been incredible. And I mean, Nate, I'm sure you agree, right, man?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's been absolutely a blessing to do this, and thank you so much, Joey, for coming on. Like you said, I'm glad that we were easy to talk to today. You gave some spectacular answers, so it was really a great all around experience.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you a ton. But with that, I want to thank everyone for listening today and tuning in like always. And we always greatly appreciate everyone's support. And we'll see you guys next time.